If you don't know the history of a Comicsgate, oh my gosh, strap in, everybody, because we're going to go back to the lore in a way that's going to go back to 2018 when this all started. If you don't know, Ethan Van Sciver and his little personal army that he kind of has follow him around was always kind of like it is now. The way that they attack Eric July, the way that they go at Yellow Flash and the like, they actually did to me and Mike S. Miller and others back in 2018, 2019. It's just they had a lot more of a group on their side at that point. People hadn't seen it yet and people hadn't peeled away. And he had his own like personal army that actually was named. They called themselves War Campaign. Yes, and they LARPed online like they were Roman centurions. They would seriously type in all caps, going "Hail, brother! Hail, hail, brother!" And act like they were like some sort of like real life role playing group. It was a bunch of like weird incels who lived in their mother's basements, who are just like angry trolls at the internet, sad that they're like 30, 40-year-old, 50-year-old dudes with no lives and no prospects or anything like that. And it got really, really weird. And so we're going to go over that and exactly what's changed about this right now, as this guy Mike Wheeler here has done the ultimate troll and literally taken over Ethan Van Sciver's former personal army. It's so wild. There's a lot to unpack here, so strap in, my friends. Hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things in this sort of comics history space, and this is a place for comics, guys. I'm doing great things right now in the comics space, and what Comicsgate failed to do, because it was all about being a sycophant for a celebrity guy like Ethan Van Sciver, was they failed to actually make a movement about comics, and kind of everything around it kind of failed to actually be about comics. And so we've just been quietly kind of producing comics over the years, over and over and over again. I mean, I don't even know how many issues worth of comics I have out now. It's too many. But I know there's 13 full graphic novels you can get on my web store. So if you do want to get some physical books and things like that, check things out. It's in the description below. And I also have a Substack, which I've been talking about over and over here, because what I've noticed is like the webcomic community is one where it's a lot healthier. These people put up their books. People just discuss the books, talk about the pages that come out, and then they patronize the person as they produce them. They say, you know what? I'm going to give you $5 a month to help you just like continue making this as your career, because it's art for art's sake. Now, back in the day, it used to be a patron of the arts sort of situation. You would patronize your artist that you like. And it works really, really well. A lot of these webcomics get thousands of people being paid subscribers and the like, and it's really, really cool. Now, what CG did was just ape off the old model of the comic book shop, the collector's items. And so, in a way, I'm preaching to a little bit of the wrong crowd here, because I'm trying to break people of that habit and get people more into reading comic books again. And it's going to take some time, and I understand that. And everybody bitches in my comments. I know. But this is such an important message to get people on comics. We've almost gotten all the way to the end of Flying Sparks issue 3. And so you've got 3 full issues worth of comics that you can get immediately just by signing up and being on this Substack right here and starting reading. As I mentioned yesterday, we're over 1,000 people strong now. I started this 2 months ago. It's just built up and built up and built up, and it's just going to grow from here. And this is the future. As we do this, we make some comics. Things are going fantastic. I just got in some colors for the new Ayla Rin graphic novel, and that's getting lettered right now. And that's going to be put up on my Subscribestar shortly. I've also got Deus Volt is just got some colors in. We're getting that lettered. Yes, Deus Volt, if you remember the book from 2022, I'm doing a sequel to that. That's going right now. I've got a book called Battle Emperor. I actually just got a short comic in, which is called Going Rogue. And that short comic's going to be a 5-pager that actually dovetails out of Flying Sparks here. So if you're familiar with the entire story of Flying Sparks, that's going to be one where you can follow up with one of the characters from it. I'm not going to spoil more about that for now. I'm working on a bunch of stuff, a historical comic with a conquistador hero. There's so much going on. A Western, a horror Western, a werewolf comic. The Emerald Array, my Space Marine comic, book 2 has gone to the artist. We've got so much going right now and it's hard to talk about it. Like whereas a lot of people just get on their one project and talk about their one project or whatever. I have so many, it's hard to do that with. And that's what's cool about being here and being a fan of this spot, because the people who are actually invested in the comics are actually building something real. We have more artistry going on here than anybody else in the entire Comicsgate space, and that's why we're going to win long term. I love it, and thanks for being here. So sign up for this Substack, guys. Get in on this. There is exclusives. There's 2 exclusive comics right now. I've got so many comics, like I don't even know how to put them out. Like I don't know how to release this even. And these exclusive comics, I'm posting 4 pages a month each so that you can get on here and, of course, support the comics. And that way it helps support the artists and the like. It's a big deal. We're building a giant operation here, and the more people that get on, the more this becomes a beautiful, amazing thing. So get on here today. Thank you for everybody who became a paid subscriber on top of this. I really appreciate those who do. You guys are awesome. And yes, that's in the description below. Like I said, I've got my physical books as well. And yeah, that's about my projects update right now. I'm also working on my novels. I know that's probably going to be the next crowdfund is novels, because I've really put a ton of work into my Valiant Frontiers series, which is just going to be stellar. Stellar. All right. So Mike Wheeler Mike and Mindy Wheeler were kind of around Comicsgate back in the day in the original edition of it. And Mindy Wheeler fought with Ethan Van Sciver, like everybody fights with Ethan Van Sciver because he's just such a creep. And then ended up doing their own stuff on Kickstarter. Now, they kind of make, almost all of Kickstarter, I'm banned from Kickstarter, of course, is like, kind of like nudie variant cover stuff, which, I obviously don't approve of. And that's what they do. And they make a ton of money doing it. They've actually built a business on doing parodies where they just put these nudie covers out there and away from Comicsgate. Now, that is the Kickstarter way. If you want to make money on Kickstarter, it's really sad. I was talking to a great Catholic comic creator the other day. They're from Ironclad Comics, if you want to look them up. Yeah, we talk comics here. And he's like, what do I do to like get people paying more attention to this sort of thing? And I'm like, you don't. People don't care about comics. That's the unfortunate truth right here. And it is a beating your head against a wall to do so, which is why I work very hard every single video to do so and piss off a couple people. I love replying to the pissed off people like, how dare you talk about your comic books on your channel that says JDA Talks Comics? I didn't sign up for that. It's like, well, go away. Go watch Ethan Van Sciver. That's what you want, for real. You want to watch his gay little live stream. Those are the type of people that want that. The Ironclad guy, you don't. The real truth is, like, it's really hard to get people to care about comics. And it's sad. The Ironclad Comics guy has a beautiful book, and it is wonderful stuff. And it's just really hard to get traction. Nobody cares about looking at an excellent comic and just looking at it on merit. It's the hard truth of things right now. And this is a tough economy on top of that. So it is what it is. I wish those guys the best. And I support their comics. I read their comics. I think they're great. But that's where it is. And so it comes back to it was just about YouTube celebrity for Ethan Van Sciver tearing up Rose Tico dolls online as a and it's more than that. It's because Van Sciver was a guy from DC Comics, and he's the one tearing up a Rose Tico doll and stabbing it with a knife on a YouTube video. Wow, I can't believe a professional comic artist would do that. It's very much rubbernecking. And it's always, I can't believe a professional comic artist would do this. Well, over the last few years, he's dedicated his entire life to just hating Eric July, hating Yellow Flash. They're the worst. Everything Eric July does is bad, and I'm going to do a 5-hour live stream on it. But it's been this way for the entire time. And the reason this is all on my radar is I was the first one kind of canceled by him back in 2018. And this is when he ran his little war campaign group. And the war campaign group started coming to prominence because Doug Ernst noticed them on a live stream. And so they were fighting with Doug Ernst, who's from Iconic Comics, does the Soul Finder book and the like, a conservative Catholic guy. Yeah, notice everybody these people attack are conservative Catholics for the most part. It's interesting. Or Christians. Very, very interesting. Much like the mainstream industry. And what happened on this sort of deal was they started like typing "Hail Caesar" in the chat, and they would literally call Ethan Caesar like he's their god, emperor, king, who they're worshiping. It was pretty much the gayest thing I've ever seen on the internet, and it continued for years. Like there were rumors that these guys actually they would put secret discords and upon secret discords, which you had to be, or secret DM rooms on Twitter, which you had to be like certain ranks. I actually make fun of it in my Discord server. I have all these ranks that people can get. I call them the elevated. That's one of the ones that War Campaign use, or the legionnaires, or people who just and honestly, like for the elevated, it's just like, yeah, are you interested in books for real? And then you get the elevated role. So I make a joke out of it. But they actually did that. Like the elevated would have their own secret discords that like they would like plan these little ops in, and you would have to get into the upper echelons of this Ethan Van Sciver worshiping group. apparently, like, they asked you to send them D-pics so that they could then hold that over you for blackmail, so that you would always be, quote, loyal to them, brother. I mean, you want to talk about the ultimate gay. That is the ultimate gay. And there's a lot of weird sexual blackmail stuff that goes on in Comicsgate. Like, it's quite the rabbit hole if you go down into that. It's a weird thing. Now, this group existed for a while, and then eventually they actually had Ethan Van Sciver draw a cover for a comic for them. Vestige, they called it. And of course, Ethan promoted it on his live stream, got the money, and eventually it always breaks down because you have this like outraged weird gamma male group with an outraged weird gamma male king, and they eventually fought each other. And so they broke up. It was a sad day. And then War Campaign dedicated themselves to just attacking Ethan Van Sciver since that. Except for they're kind of the same thing. Like, Comicsgate's a cancel group that just, like, goes crazy on people and just lies about people and just attacks comic book creators full time. And then War Campaign is just a cancel group that lies about creators. They're the same. They're two different of the same peas in a pod is really what it comes down to. And so it's been a joke all these years. And Mike Wheeler actually took this joke to the next level and actually registered War Campaign Incorporated in the state of Indiana. So he made himself literally the leader of War Campaign here. He is in charge of it. It is his office now, and he is officially the CEO of it. And this caused a massive, massive spurg out. Now, what War Campaign's been doing is they've been interacting with Grok, the AI, to, like, anybody they want to torment and go after or whatever. They go, Grok, is this person actually a child molester? Grok, this person said they like children in this post. Does that mean they're a child molester? And they'd train Grok to just, like, say bad things about people they don't like, right? And so it's like... it's so painful. And the people, like, Grok has almost ruined Twitter because you have these retards who just go, Grok, is this true? Grok, is this true? Grok, what do I do with my life? Grok, how do I clean my room? Grok. It's really, really brought out the most retarded people in humanity, which War Campaign is. So that this works out pretty well. Pretty funny stuff, and they all have just been throwing a fit back and forth. If you just go to War Campaign, and you could see the latest, it's Grok, and then this they're spurging out about Mike Wheeler here with Grok after they trained Grok. You see, this is they type in all caps like this. They still do this. It's really lame. Remember, brethren, this is why you never let the lolcow go, for they will always produce the best of lols. Hail War Campaign eternal. Blame War Campaign. Wow. Yeah, these people are so stupid. Here it is. Like, they just keep going. They just keep going with Grok, and that's what they're doing. So what does this have to do with comics? Nothing. And that's exactly what Ethan Van Sciver and his network have been the entire time. Like I said, he cultivated this entire group for years. He ran it as a cancel mob against me in 2018. The guys still haven't woken up in those groups. They're so stupid and pathetic that they still haven't realized, wait a minute, I was manipulated by this Ethan Van Sciver guy for years to attack John Delarose, and they still don't apologize for what they've done. It's very bizarre. But it is what it is. They're just outraged, sort of low status dudes on the internet, and that's the whole problem. So we need to build something better, and that's exactly why I dedicate 5 minutes of every video to talking about building comics and reading comics. A group that reads is a smarter group. We're not online just going grok. We're here to read. We're here to make stories. We're here to craft real art. And that is the difference between us and what's going on in all these groups. Like I said, there's so many projects. I illustrated just how many we're going over right now and working on right now. I spend my days doing this. Everybody's like, why don't you live stream? Why don't you live stream? That's why. I don't have time to write this many books, edit this many books, format this many books, be making my AI music that I'm writing lyrics to and the like, doing videos, doing Fandom Pulse and doing news coverage, which is something I do every single day. We have a full website with 8 to 10 articles a day that we're doing. I don't have time to sit around and talk about somebody for hours and hours and hours online every day. So what I'm doing is working, and that's why it's great to be a part of this whole movement right here, because it's built around something real. So, guys, support real artistry, support independent artistry. Get on the Substack today. It's in the description below. Thank you for all for making this 1,000 people strong, as my following has grown so big on this. Now, Substack following, somebody actually attacked me over the Substack following the other day on, you only have 1,000 followers? Wow. And it's like, do you understand that, like, grabbing 1,000 followers on Substack means there's 1,000 emails I have as an email list? Like, that's so much more valuable than, even 9,000 subscribers here or 15,000 Twitter followers that I have. Substack's really where it's at, and it's the future, and we're building the real comic empire right now. It's going to take a couple years, and it's just going to take off very, very slowly. Incremental growth is so much more important. If you peak too fast, it causes problems, but the incremental growth is the way to build something sustainable long term, and that's what we're doing. It's crushing it. Thanks for being here, guys. Thank you for being real readers and being a part of this, and I hope this history of Comicsgate was fun for you. What do you think about Mike Wheeler registering War Campaign? I think it's hilarious. I like watching these guys squirm online. I think it's funny. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back.